What if everything you believed about yourself wasn't actually true? What if your very thoughts, feelings, and beliefs were not your own? This isn't a game or a hypothetical question, but a stark reality we must confront together. A reality where your inherent power, the power of your own consciousness, has been systematically suppressed, manipulated, and redirected by external forces you may not even realize exist. They want you to believe that you are powerless, that you are at the mercy of the world. They have subtly programmed you from a very young age to think, feel, and believe in a way that keeps you in a box. But what if that programming was just a carefully constructed illusion? Consider this for a moment. Throughout history, the control of information has always been a tool wielded by those in power. Take the invention of the printing press, for example. While it democratized knowledge in many ways, it also became a means to control narratives, to shape public opinion, and yes, to suppress ideas that challenged the status quo. The same tool that allowed for enlightenment also enabled widespread manipulation of the masses, with those who controlled the press also controlling what the masses thought. This isn't just a relic of the past. These patterns of control have continued throughout the ages, evolving and adapting to our modern society. Now it operates on a far more subtle level, often hidden in plain sight. This programming, this influence, doesn't always come in the form of grand conspiracies. Sometimes it's in the seemingly harmless phrases we've all come to accept without question. Take, for instance, the common phrase, "It's just a coincidence." This seemingly innocuous phrase negates the possibility that there may be underlying patterns, hidden connections, and powerful forces at play, teaching you to disregard meaningful events in your own life, to deny the very patterns that are trying to show you the truth. This type of programming works at a subconscious level, making you believe that you are just a passive observer of life, rather than an active co-creator, and it operates in ways you cannot possibly imagine. These subtle programming elements are the very things that keep you asleep to your true potential, your inherent power, and the vast reality that is just beyond the veil of the mundane. The significance of this suppressed power cannot be overstated. It influences every single aspect of your personal reality. Your thoughts, beliefs, and experiences are all filtered through the lens of this programming, and most people never realize they are under control, living their entire lives on autopilot, never even questioning the parameters of their existence. It's like living in a dream, where you believe everything you experience is real, but you're not actually the one in control. You're making choices based on external pressures, not based on your own desires and goals. This is a very intentional and carefully constructed system designed to keep you in a perpetual cycle of unconsciousness. But you have the power to break free from this control. You just have to see it first. This control isn't just limited to your individual life. It also has a massive impact on the world around us. Wars, conflict, social division, and economic injustices are all, in part, a result of this manipulation, this programming on a massive scale. Divide and conquer is a very effective strategy for those who wish to maintain control over the masses, and it's a tool that has been used time and time again throughout history. When people are constantly at odds with each other, they are less likely to unite and question those in power, perpetuating the very systems that are designed to keep them down. The world is not in chaos by accident. There are systems in place that perpetuate this. To remain unaware of this control is to perpetuate it. To remain unconscious of this programming is to become a puppet for others, living a life that is not your own. It's like going to a job you hate because you believe you have to, or staying in a relationship that drains you because you believe you don't have a choice. These are not inherent truths, but limiting beliefs that have been programmed into your subconscious, beliefs that have been accepted as reality. However, you possess the power to rewrite this programming, to take back control of your life, to live in a way that is empowering and fulfilling. But you must first understand how it works and the impact that it has had on your life. You have the power to rewrite this program, to take back your consciousness, but first you must understand it. For instance, consider the negative affirmation, "I am not good enough," and the impact that has on your self-esteem and your choices, and then realize that you have the power to replace that thought with an empowering affirmation, "I am more than enough." This shift in programming, this change in the inner narrative, has the power to completely transform your entire reality. The power to create that change rests solely in your own consciousness, and this is just the beginning. So, what exactly is this consciousness, this power that has been suppressed? Well, to start with, think of your mind as a radio receiver, constantly picking up signals from different frequencies. Your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs are all like different channels, and you can be tuned into both positive and negative channels, creating different experiences based on your selection. However, most of us are unaware that we have the dial, and we have the power to choose what channel we listen to. We often just accept whatever comes through the speakers, never even realizing that we have the ability to change the channel. This programming that we've been talking about is primarily embedded in the subconscious mind, the part of you that operates on autopilot. It's like the software that runs in the background of your computer, storing all the information, beliefs, and emotional responses that drive your habits and decisions. This part of you often operates outside your awareness, making decisions for you, and making you act in ways you don't even consciously realize. You may catch yourself doing something that you know you don't want to, and that is because of this subconscious programming that is playing out on autopilot. However, awareness of this subconscious programming is the first step to reclaiming your power. It's like realizing that you can change the channel on that radio receiver, that you can choose to focus on the positive frequencies and reject the negative ones, that you can consciously decide what you want to believe and what you no longer want to accept. When you realize that you can choose, the entire game changes. You realize you are not a victim, you are the creator. You are not powerless. You have all the power you need to change your reality right now. This power, this agency, comes down to conscious choice, to recognizing when you're about to tune into the wrong station, to choosing to be awake. It's about recognizing your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs, and making an active choice about which ones to hold on to and which ones to let go. Think of your subconscious mind like a garden. If you are not aware of what seeds you are planting, it will grow wild, and you will get whatever comes up. But if you tend your garden with intention, choosing the seeds that you desire, it will grow beautiful, and you will get whatever you have intended, and that is the power of conscious choice. Now, how much of your life is truly your own? How much of your reality is based on your conscious choices, and how much of it is based on this programming that has been embedded in your subconscious? Is it all your own, or has it been decided for you? How far does this programming go, and what are the methods used to keep you unconscious of it? Are there systems in place that actively maintain this illusion? These are the questions we must begin to ask if we ever wish to discover the truth. The truth is, there are methods used to keep you in this unconscious state. There are systems in place that are constantly reinforcing this programming. Things like the news, entertainment, and social norms are often used as tools to manipulate and control the masses, constantly feeding you narratives that keep you in a state of fear, division, and confusion. These tools are strategically used to keep you from realizing your power, to keep you from seeing the truth. But understanding these methods is the first step to breaking free. Throughout your life, you've been programmed in ways that you probably aren't even aware of, and this programming often creates recurring cycles in your personal life that are hard to break, patterns that keep you stuck in the same negative loops. But what if understanding these patterns was the key to breaking free from them? What if you could change the very structure of your reality? Once you start to recognize those patterns, you can start to shift them, and that is what we will be exploring. This is just the beginning of our journey, and as we go deeper, we will reveal the techniques to recognize this programming and the tools you need to rewrite it, to change your own life, and take back the control that is rightfully yours. The reality that you have always deserved, the life that you were meant to live, is waiting for you on the other side of this programming, and together we will break free. We've established that your mind acts like a radio receiver, constantly picking up signals. But what if I told you that consciousness is far more expansive than that it's not just something that happens within your brain? Imagine consciousness as a vast, universal field of energy, a cosmic ocean of awareness that we all tap into. Your brain, in this analogy, is less like the creator of the signal and more like an antenna, receiving and transmitting thoughts, emotions, and information, tuning into specific frequencies within that vast field. It's like choosing a radio station. You have the power to decide what you listen to, what you focus on. The key is to understand that your brain isn't generating the signal, but it's interpreting it, and your experience of reality is based on what you tune into, and that is the power of consciousness. Now, let's delve deeper into the role of the subconscious, this processing center that filters and interprets your reality. It's not just a storage unit for memories and past experiences. It's the very operating system that dictates your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. It's constantly filtering and interpreting experiences based on your pre-existing beliefs and the embedded conditioning you've accumulated throughout your life, shaping your reality on autopilot. For example, imagine a situation where you experience an intense emotional reaction to something, but you don't fully understand why. This reaction often stems from a past experience, a deeply ingrained memory or belief that you may not even consciously recall. That's the subconscious at work, processing information based on its stored programming. It is playing out scenarios based on pre-existing beliefs, and you are experiencing the result. It is not in the driver's seat, but is operating the car based on the map that was created. This brings us to a fascinating point, the observer effect from quantum physics, which shows us that your very act of observation influences the outcome of an experiment. The mere act of observing a particle changes its state. Consider this. The same principle applies to your own life. By simply observing your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions, you're directly influencing your reality. The probabilities of your life are constantly collapsing into experiences based on what you focus on, which is why your thoughts can become your reality. It's a reminder that you are not a passive observer of reality, but an active participant, and that your perception of yourself and your beliefs about the world directly shape your experiences. For example, someone who holds a negative self-image will often experience events that reinforce that belief, while someone with a positive outlook may experience a life full of abundance and joy. That choice in perception is where your power lies. But here's a critical pattern. When you're not consciously observing, you are being unconsciously influenced. When you are not actively observing the radio channel you are listening to, you are just accepting whatever is playing, and that's how this external programming takes hold. That's how these pre-existing beliefs dominate your experiences, and how you get stuck in a loop of conditioned behaviors. Think of a habit you do without thinking, like grabbing your phone first thing in the morning. Is that your conscious decision, or has that action become an automatic, pre-programmed response? Has the system created a need that is not inherently yours? Becoming aware of these patterns, observing them without judgment, is how you begin to step out of the unconscious influence and reclaim control of your own life. Now, let's delve into the specific techniques that are used to control and manipulate, the methods of external control that are designed to keep you in this unconscious state. It's not just some grand conspiracy. It's often a subtle, yet highly effective, system of programming that operates through various channels. We talked about how the printing press can be used to control narratives on a large scale, but what about on a smaller, more personal scale? Consider the news media, for example, how it often uses fear-based narratives to elicit emotional responses, programming you to believe and feel certain ways. These are not objective reports of reality, but carefully crafted stories designed to influence your thoughts, your beliefs, and ultimately your behavior, and they are playing out in the subconscious, creating the reality that you believe to be true. These external forces often instill limiting beliefs, which are essentially the code that controls your behavior and shapes your experiences. These are not your own thoughts, but embedded beliefs that have been programmed into your subconscious. They are like a computer virus, constantly running in the background, subtly influencing your decisions and your perception of reality. For example, the common belief that "I'm not good enough" can negatively impact your decisions, causing you to miss opportunities and constantly seek validation from others. These are not your own ideas. They are limiting narratives that have been embedded in your consciousness and are now running the show. It is time to rewrite this code and start running a new program by planting new seeds in the subconscious. This is where psychological conditioning comes into play. Both classical and operant conditioning are used to shape your responses and behaviors. Think of advertising, how it uses operant conditioning, positive or negative reinforcement, to create a need or desire for products that are not inherently yours. These external forces are constantly manipulating your emotions and desires, often creating wants where there were none before, programming you to buy things you don't need, with money you don't have, to impress people you don't like. The result, a constant cycle of consumption, always chasing something that is just beyond your reach. These desires are not your own, but were designed to keep you in a state of want and need, to keep you running on the wheel. These methods of conditioning create a pattern of conformity, keeping you within a narrow range of experiences and beliefs. They create a social norm that makes you believe you have to behave a certain way, think a certain way, and live a certain way. Think of how social pressure can sway your decisions, or how you may change your behaviors just to fit in with a group of people. This is not your authentic expression, but a manufactured version of yourself that has been conditioned into you, a program that is running, and you are just a puppet playing out the lines. These methods are designed to keep you within the box of acceptable behavior, ensuring that you conform to societal norms and never question the status quo. Now, how do you break free from this programming? How do you reclaim your own conscious power? One of the most powerful tools you have is breathwork. Conscious breathing can shift your brainwave activity, allowing you to access deeper states of awareness, changing the channel of your mind, so to speak. In many ancient traditions, breath is seen as the flow of energy, or prana. When you breathe consciously, you can activate that energy, clearing blocks from your subconscious and freeing you from those limiting programs. Try this now. Take a few deep breaths, inhaling fully and exhaling completely. Notice how even just a few conscious breaths can shift your state and how you immediately feel more present. This is a powerful tool that you have access to anytime, anywhere. Another powerful practice is mindfulness and meditation, which allow you to develop conscious awareness by observing your thoughts without judgment. When you step back and observe your thoughts, you realize that you are not your thoughts, but the observer of your thoughts, and by observing them, you begin to realize they are not your own. They are not inherent truths, but programs playing out on the stage of your mind. Think of your mind like a garden, and your thoughts are like seeds. If you don't pay attention to the seeds you plant, the garden will grow wild. But if you tend to your garden with intention, planting the seeds you desire, you will experience a bountiful harvest. Take a moment now to close your eyes and simply observe your thoughts without judging them. Just watch them as they come and go, like clouds in the sky. This simple practice can start to change the seeds you plant in the subconscious. And then there is the power of visualization, which allows you to consciously direct your subconscious mind. When you visualize a desired outcome, you are essentially planting seeds of intention into the subconscious, sending a powerful signal to your brain, programming it for success. For example, if you desire better health or financial abundance, you can begin to visualize yourself experiencing those things, creating a very real blueprint in the subconscious, which will then begin to play out in your life. These are not just ideas, but powerful tools that you can use to start creating the life you desire. But it's important to remember that these practices are not a one-time fix. They require consistency and commitment, and by practicing them daily, you build new neural pathways in your brain, creating new habits, new ways of thinking, and new ways of being, reinforcing the changes you desire. It's like rewiring your brain, overwriting the old limiting programs with new, empowering ones. Start small, commit to just a few minutes each day, and over time, you will begin to see profound changes in your reality. A simple daily practice can change the entire program that has been running your life on autopilot and will bring you to the place of choice. Ultimately, the most powerful tool you possess is your ability to choose your perspective at any moment. You are not bound to your past. You are not bound to your limiting beliefs. They are all just ideas in the mind, and you have the power to choose differently at any time. Think of the subconscious as the garden. If you don't like what you planted, you can choose something new and start over. You have the power to change your perception of any situation at any time, and that is the power of choice. This is how you begin to break free from those negative cycles that keep you stuck in the same patterns. When you shift your perspective, you challenge the very assumptions that have created those cycles in the first place. When you choose to observe a pattern, it no longer has the same power over you. It is not you, it is just a pattern. For example, if you tend to react negatively to a specific situation, instead of automatically reacting, you can choose to step back, observe your reaction, and choose a different response. And over time, you change the pattern that is playing out in your life. That shift in perspective is the key. When you recognize that your inner world, your thoughts, beliefs, emotions, manifests as your outer reality, you realize that you are always creating your life, even when you are unaware of it. By becoming conscious of your programming, you can take back the reins of creation and consciously choose what you want to manifest. Consider the idea of a video game. You are both the player and the programmer. If you don't like the way the game is being played, you have the ability to write new code, to create new experiences, and that is exactly what you are doing in your own reality. You are the programmer, and you can rewrite the code at any time. The possibilities are truly limitless. By understanding the power of your consciousness, and by becoming aware of how it has been manipulated, you can unleash a potential that you never thought possible. You are not powerless. You are the creator of your own reality, and with consistent practice and focused intention, you can begin to experience the full power of your own mind. You hold the key to breaking free, and it has always been within you. So, if your consciousness is not just contained within your brain, and if your subconscious is filtering your experiences based on programming, what does that say about the very nature of reality itself? What if the world we perceive isn't fixed and solid, but is instead a kind of simulation, a construct created by our collective consciousness, constantly shaped by our beliefs and expectations? Think of it like this. Each of us is a character in a massive video game, and the reality we experience is the result of the code we're running. This isn't just a far-out theory. It's a way to understand how your thoughts and beliefs literally create your reality. Consider the way a collective belief about a particular situation, whether it is something in your personal life or something happening in the world, can then manifest as a shared reality for everyone holding that belief. However, is that reality inherently real or just a shared belief, a collective projection of what we think is true? And it goes even deeper than that. What if even the most fundamental laws of your world, the things that seem so unchangeable, are actually just part of the code, agreed upon rules that could be rewritten? Think about gravity, or the concept of time, or the very nature of matter. These are all just constructs, built upon shared beliefs and reinforced over and over again, but they are not inherently real. They are a kind of agreement, a code that has been running since the beginning of time. These rules are the operating system of this reality, and most people operate within them without ever questioning them. Consider the shift that occurs when you change your perspective on a situation that used to trigger negative emotions, and how that situation loses its power over you. That situation is not different, but you are different, and that changes your entire experience. What does it mean if these rules that you follow are not real? This understanding highlights the most potent tool you possess, your conscious choice. You have the ability to alter this simulation, to change the very code of your reality. If the external world is just a projection of your inner world, then your choices, your thoughts, your beliefs become the keys to rewriting the narrative. The external forces that seek to control you are only as powerful as your belief in them. The moment you begin to recognize the programming, it starts to lose its grip. The more aware you become of these patterns and manipulations, the more freedom you gain to consciously choose a different path, to step out of the program and into your own authentic power. Think about a habit you used to do without questioning, like immediately reacting with anger when someone says something you don't like. When you start to become aware of that pattern, it starts to lose its hold over you. But how does the system maintain control? It keeps you from recognizing the simulated nature of reality, preventing you from realizing that you are the creator. It does this by keeping you focused on the external, the illusion of a separate reality, making you think that you are powerless to change it, because it is out there. This constant barrage of external influences ensures that you remain disconnected from your true power. It reinforces the idea that you are at the mercy of the world, rather than being the architect of your own experience, ensuring that you forget your true nature as a powerful creator, and that keeps the program running without interference. Think about the news and the carefully constructed narratives that keep you focused on fear and division, making you think that the world is a dangerous and chaotic place. This keeps you from recognizing the beauty, the potential, and the abundance all around you, which keeps you locked in their story. Now, consider this. If reality is a construct, a kind of code we're running, and you possess the ability to rewrite it, where do you begin? Well, you begin with yourself, and that means mastery of the self. It means understanding that you are always in control of the programming, and that you are the one choosing what you create. Understanding that this simulation is just an extension of your consciousness, it opens the door to consciously rewriting it. So, if you are the creator, and you are not limited by the programs you have been running, what will you create? What will your story be when you are the author? This brings us to the practical implementation, the methods you can use to actively shape your reality. Daily practices like meditation and breathwork are not just woo-woo concepts. They are powerful methods to hack your subconscious, to rewrite your code, and to align yourself with the reality that you truly desire. They allow you to consciously shift your brainwave activity and enter a state of increased awareness, which gives you access to your inner power. These practices are not about escaping reality, but about accessing a deeper understanding of it, so you can consciously create the world you wish to experience. Consider how consistent meditation can change your brain chemistry, shifting you from a state of stress and anxiety into a state of peace and clarity, which then changes the way you interact with the world, and the world then changes to meet you. And what about the words you use? The concept of affirmations connects directly to the power of the subconscious. When you repeat a chosen phrase with intention, emotion, and belief, you are directly planting a seed in the subconscious, creating a new program that will then start running your reality. Words are not just empty sounds. They carry immense power and can shape your beliefs, your thoughts, and your experiences. Choose words that empower, that reflect the reality you want to experience. Start with this simple affirmation and repeat it with belief. I am the creator of my reality. Feel the power of those words, repeat them often, and watch how your subconscious begins to accept and reflect that as your truth. This is not just theory, but a very real way you can create change. The pattern of self-observation is also a powerful way to recognize your programming, to see the code that has been running your life. By consistently observing your own thoughts, emotions, and reactions, you are essentially becoming aware of the program that has been written into you. This awareness is the key to rewriting it. The moment you see the pattern, it loses its power over you because it is now in the light of consciousness. If you are aware of your reactions, you are no longer bound by them, and now you can start to make a choice. For example, consider how you react to someone who criticizes you. If you become aware that your automatic response is to feel angry and defensive, that awareness gives you the power to choose a different response and begin to create a different reality. It's important to acknowledge that changing deeply ingrained programs will take time and consistent effort. It is a journey, and there will be setbacks. There will be times when the old programming comes up, but that does not mean you have failed. You simply acknowledge it and choose to start again. This is not a one-time shift. It's an ongoing process of conscious creation, which requires patience and persistence. Think of it like a garden. If you keep planting weeds, they will keep growing. You must consciously choose to remove the weeds and plant the seeds you wish to see grow, and tend to them daily. You have that power. The most important thing to remember is that true transformation comes from inner work, and it manifests in your outer world. The more you create your desired inner reality, the more you will see it reflected in your outer experiences. Your beliefs and thoughts create your outer world, and the more you plant new seeds within, the more your life will shift to match that. Think of an athlete who consistently visualizes success. Through that practice and their consistent focus, their reality will shift to match their desire. If you can consistently focus your intention on your goals, your reality will shift to meet those goals, reinforcing the idea that you are the creator. Now, let's move to a new concept that will truly shift your understanding. Every moment is a new opportunity for choice. You are never truly stuck, and that includes your past experiences, which do not define you. You always have the power to shift your thoughts, your emotions, and your beliefs, and that choice can change your entire experience. Your past does not have to equal your future unless you choose for it to. It is all perception, and you have the power to shift it at any moment. For example, you may have a very difficult situation in your life that you feel powerless over. But when you look at it with a new perspective, you may see a solution, an opportunity, or even a lesson. That change in perception can shift your entire experience and thus your reality. Let's expand on this idea of shift and consider a common example from your daily life. Imagine you are driving and someone cuts you off. Your initial reaction might be anger and frustration, but what if instead you choose to laugh or send them love and realize they may be having a bad day? The situation is the same, but the change in your perspective transforms your entire experience. It is no longer something that has happened to you, but something you have chosen to experience in a new way. The power is always in the moment, and in your ability to choose how you will respond. The you that you believe yourself to be is also just a story, and that story is not set in stone. You have the power to write a new story at any time, and you are not bound by your past experiences. You are not just a collection of the events that have happened to you, but a being of infinite potential, and you can choose who you want to be right now. For example, imagine someone who has overcome great adversity, perhaps someone who was told they would never succeed, but who went on to do something remarkable. Are they limited by those past events, or are they capable of writing a new story for themselves, a new identity? They are much more than the story they have been told. And remember, your inner thoughts and beliefs create your outer reality. There is a constant feedback loop that either empowers you or disempowers you based on your choices and your thoughts. You are always planting seeds in the garden of your mind. If you are consistently focusing on positive outcomes, on success and abundance, you will see that begin to show up in your life, reinforcing your new beliefs, and that is how you will change your entire reality. These aren't just thoughts. They are the energetic templates for your experience. Consider how this plays out in your own personal life and the things you have been wanting to change. Now, with all of this understanding comes a significant responsibility. The understanding that you are always choosing and you are always creating. The responsibility is that with this power of choice, you can no longer play the victim. You are 100% responsible for your life and your experience, and when you understand the power of creation, you cannot choose to give your power away. You are not limited by what has already been created, and you are now free to create whatever you desire. The only limit is your own imagination. So let's recap. Consciousness is not limited to your brain. It's a universal field, and your brain is the receiver. Your subconscious filters your reality based on pre-existing programs and beliefs, and these programs have been influenced by external forces seeking control. And the very nature of reality is a construct, a simulation created by collective consciousness. However, you are the programmer, and you have the power to rewrite the code. You have the power to choose your perspective at any moment, and by using tools such as meditation, breathwork, affirmations, and self-observation, you can begin to consciously create your own reality, and that choice is always in the moment. Do you see now how far you have come since the beginning of this journey? You have learned that these concepts are all interconnected, and that once you understand the pattern, you can create a new one. These tools allow you to break free from the old programs and create a life that is truly aligned with your desires. This is not just a game of chance. You are playing a game of creation, and once you understand the rules of the code, you can begin to change the game. Like a video game, once you learn how the game works, you can change all of the elements of that game, and you are doing that in your own reality now. This journey of self-discovery is an ongoing process, and with consistent practice of these tools, you will deepen your sense of self-mastery. This is a continuous path, but the more you practice conscious creation, the more it will become your natural state of being. You have been programmed from the beginning to not recognize this truth, but now you have that power back, and you have the choice in every moment to use it. With this understanding and consistent practice, the illusion of control starts to fall away, and you step into your true power as a conscious creator. The answers you have been seeking have been within you all along. You are the one you have been waiting for. You are powerful, you are capable, and you are free. And now, it is time for action. It is time to put these concepts into practice in your daily life. Choose to consciously create your life every moment of every day, and begin to see the consistent shifts in your reality. You have everything you need within yourself to begin that journey, and it's time to activate the power that has always been yours. Let's take the idea of a simulation a little further. Imagine that your entire reality, everything you see, touch, and experience, is actually a construct, a kind of shared dream created by the collective consciousness. The programming we've discussed is not just individual, but a part of the larger agreement that makes up this reality. When a large group of people share the same belief about something, it solidifies as a shared experience, making the illusion of reality even more convincing. But that doesn't make it real, it just makes it more widely accepted. Think about it like a large multiplayer game, where each person's consciousness adds to the overall experience, reinforcing the shared world and the rules of that world. But this shared dream is not necessarily fixed. It is constantly being shaped and reshaped by the collective thoughts and beliefs of the players. Consider, then, that even the very laws of this world, the things you believe to be unchangeable, are actually just a form of code, a set of agreements that have been established by this collective consciousness. These laws, like gravity or the passage of time, are just a part of the operating system of this reality, and they are only as solid as the belief that holds them in place. You see, these agreements, while seeming fixed, can be rewritten. If the collective shifts its belief, the very fabric of reality can transform. The belief you hold, such as "I'm not capable of doing that," is just as much a belief as any law, and when you shift that belief, you change your experience. This highlights the dynamic nature of your reality and the immense power you have to create change. This understanding, then, elevates the power of choice as the ultimate tool for altering this simulation. If you can change your beliefs, you can change your experience, and that choice is always available to you. External control is only as powerful as your belief in it. The moment you start to question the programming, it begins to lose its power over you, because you are now choosing a different path. It's like realizing you are a character in a video game, and you can actually change the game's code. This realization is a major step in breaking free from the limitations that have been imposed upon you, and it reminds you of the true potential that lies within. So, if you have this immense power, why does it feel like it is out of your control? Well, the control systems are designed to keep you from recognizing the simulated nature of reality, which means they are designed to keep you from realizing that you are the creator. They do this by constantly focusing your attention on the external world, the illusion of a separate reality, and making you think that you are powerless to change anything. They keep you in a limited perspective by keeping you in a constant state of reaction rather than creation, which keeps the program running without any interference. For instance, think about how news and social media are engineered to keep you constantly focused on fear and division, preventing you from recognizing the abundance, the potential, and the true nature of reality. But there is an answer, and that lies in self-mastery. Once you recognize the simulated nature of reality and understand that you are the programmer, you can consciously rewrite the code and begin creating a new experience. This journey starts within, with a deep commitment to self-awareness and conscious choice. This is not a passive process, but an active engagement in the creation of your life, where you take full responsibility for your thoughts, your beliefs, and your experiences. So, when you understand that this reality is simply an extension of your consciousness, and you have the ability to rewrite it, the question is, if you are the creator, what will you choose to create? This brings us to practical implementation, to the tools and techniques that allow you to actually shape your reality. Daily practices, like meditation and focused breathwork, are not just calming exercises. They are actually hacking tools for your subconscious. They allow you to consciously shift your brainwave activity, entering a state of heightened awareness, which in turn gives you increased access to your inner power. Imagine that meditation acts like a software update for your mind, installing new features and improvements that gives you far greater control over your experience. Also, consider the power of affirmations and how they connect directly to the subconscious. When you repeat a chosen phrase with clear intention, emotion, and strong belief, you are essentially planting a seed in the garden of your mind, and that seed will then grow and create a new program in your subconscious. These carefully chosen words carry significant energetic force, and they can shape your beliefs, thoughts, and experiences. For example, consider the affirmation, "I am the creator of my reality," and feel the truth in those words, repeating them often with strong intention, and you will see how your subconscious begins to accept and reflect that truth in your outer world. The pattern of self-observation is another powerful way to understand the programming of your subconscious. By consistently watching your own thoughts, emotions, and reactions, you start to see the code that has been running your life. This awareness allows you to make conscious choices that break free from the old programs that are no longer serving you. Imagine that self-observation acts as a debugger, allowing you to identify and correct the flaws in the code, so you can then start writing a new program for your life. If you react in a predictable way to a situation, self-observation allows you to see that and then choose a different way to respond. It's important to note that changing deeply ingrained programs is not a quick process, and it does require consistent effort. There will be setbacks along the way, and old programming will come up, but that is a part of the process. You must acknowledge them without judgment, and then choose again and again. The key is to keep planting new seeds and watch them grow, and that happens with continuous and intentional focus. Think of it as tending to a garden. You must keep removing the weeds and planting the new seeds you wish to see grow, and you have that power to cultivate the garden of your mind. Remember, transformation comes from within, and then it is reflected in your outer world. As you consistently create your desired inner reality, you will see it mirrored in your outer experience. This means that the more you focus on planting positive seeds of intention, the more your life will shift to align with them. It's like visualizing a goal with a strong intention, and that consistent focus will shift your reality to match the desire. Through this process, you will begin to understand the power you have in shaping your reality. And now we must dive even deeper. It's time to understand that every single moment is an opportunity to choose, and you are never truly stuck. And this includes the limitations you may feel from your past. You always have the power to change your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs, and that single choice can shift your entire experience. You are not bound by your past unless you choose to be, and your future is not set. It is waiting for your conscious direction. Consider a seemingly impossible situation that is changed with just a small shift in perspective, and that changes everything. You have that power. Let's further develop this point with an example from your life. Consider a time when you were faced with a challenge, and your initial reaction was one of fear or frustration. But what if instead you choose a different perspective, to see that experience as an opportunity for growth, a challenge to overcome, a lesson to learn, and send gratitude to that experience for the gift it has given you? The situation doesn't change, but your entire experience transforms, and that is the power of choice. The you believe yourself to be is also just a story, and you have the power to write a new one. The identity you have been carrying, the story of who you are, is not fixed. It is malleable. It is open to new interpretations, new perspectives, and new possibilities. You are not bound by any past story, and you have the power to create a new one, and you can choose to be anyone you want to be. Think about someone who has overcome great adversity, and they chose to write a new story and transformed into someone completely different. They were not limited to their past. They stepped into their infinite potential. It is critical to understand that your thoughts and beliefs are directly connected to your outer reality. There is a continuous feedback loop that either empowers you or disempowers you, and it is all based on your choices and the thoughts you are choosing in every moment. Remember, you are always planting seeds in the garden of your mind, and when you focus your thoughts on positive outcomes, on success and abundance, you will see those seeds grow in your life, because that's how you are choosing to create your reality. Your thoughts are not just thoughts. They are the energetic blueprints for your entire experience. Now, with this understanding comes a massive shift in responsibility. You can no longer blame outside circumstances for your life. With the understanding of choice comes the understanding that you are 100% responsible for your experience. You can no longer play the victim, and you cannot choose to give away your power anymore, because you now understand that you are the creator, and the only limits that exist are the ones you are creating in your own mind. So let's bring this all together. Consciousness is a field of infinite potential. Your brain is the receiver. Your subconscious filters your experiences based on pre-existing programs. These programs have been influenced by outside forces. Reality is a simulation created by collective consciousness, and you are the programmer. You have the power to shift your perspective at any moment, and using tools such as meditation, breathwork, affirmations, and self-observation, you can consciously create your reality, and that choice is always available to you, right now. Do you see now how this all fits together? And do you see how far you have come since the beginning of this journey? These concepts are all interconnected, and once you understand the patterns, you can begin to change them. It's like a complex code, where once you understand the language, you can start to rewrite it and create something entirely new. This is not just a game of chance. It's a game of creation, and you have now learned the rules of the game, and that means you have the power to change everything. Like a video game, once you understand the mechanics, you can then manipulate the system. This journey of self-discovery is ongoing, and by consistently using these tools, you will continue to deepen your self-mastery. This path is never-ending, and the more you practice conscious creation, the more it will become your natural state of being. You have been programmed from the start to not recognize your true power, but now you have reclaimed that power, and you have the ability to choose, in every single moment, how you will use it. With this new understanding and consistent effort, the illusion of control starts to fall away, and you begin to step into your role as a conscious creator. The answers you have been seeking have been within you all along, and you are the one you have been waiting for. You are powerful, you are capable, you are the creator of your reality, and you are free. It's time to begin. And now, it's time to take this all into action. It's time to begin to consciously create your life, to use your power, every moment of every day, and to witness the profound shifts that begin to take place in your reality. You are not limited by anything but your imagination, and you have everything you need within you to begin this journey and to start creating your new reality. Now, let's go even deeper into this idea of programming. It's not just about the individual or those limiting beliefs you have about yourself. It's also about the subtle, often invisible, programming that operates on a collective level. These are the shared belief systems that shape entire societies and cultures, the things everyone just assumes to be true, the ideas that are rarely questioned. Think about those common sayings that are passed down from generation to generation, proverbs that seem harmless on the surface, but actually embed disempowering beliefs into the collective subconscious. For instance, the phrase, "money is the root of all evil," is a commonly held belief that reinforces a sense of lack and limitation around wealth. Or consider how often we hear phrases like, "that's just the way it is," which promote a sense of powerlessness in the face of challenges and keep you from even trying to change. These aren't personal failures, they are cultural patterns that you've inherited, and recognizing this is a huge step in reclaiming your power. Consider, for a moment, how this programming contributes to our shared, constructed reality. This reality, which we so often believe to be fixed and solid, is more like a shared simulation, a kind of collective dream in which we're all participating through our individual thoughts and beliefs. The more people believe in a certain idea, the more that idea solidifies into a shared experience, creating what we often call consensus reality. When a large group of people believes that something is true, it becomes, in a way, real in their shared experience. But that doesn't mean it is actually real. It just means there is a wide agreement. For instance, think about how the collective belief in the strength of a national economy can create that very experience. An economy is only as strong as the collective belief. When those collective beliefs shift, the experience of that economy shifts. And when enough people believe it's going to crash, that belief creates the very crash they are fearing. That's the power of shared belief, and it shows you how fluid this reality is, and that you are an active participant in creating that fluidity. With this understanding of a constructed reality, the act of observation takes on a whole new meaning. It's not enough to simply see the programming. You must understand how it's constantly being reinforced through your choices, your reactions, and the narratives you subscribe to. The more aware you become of this ongoing process, the less control these programs have over you. Consider the way the media can create a strong emotional response within you, a feeling of outrage or fear. When you become aware of this pattern, you can choose not to engage, not to fuel the emotions, and this then breaks the power of the program over you. This awareness is the key to unlocking freedom, because when you see the patterns, you can begin to choose differently. And now, let's consider the stakes. If you don't recognize the power of collective consciousness, you risk perpetuating a world driven by limitations, fear, and division, and you will remain in the confines of the old programs. However, if you begin to recognize the influence of the programs and start to consciously create new beliefs, you will see the entire world around you shift, and that change is dependent upon the choices you are making in every single moment. These systems, these programs, are only as strong as our belief in them. When enough people start choosing to create a new reality, a reality of love, joy, abundance, that's when the entire world will start to reflect that change. Think about past social movements that have changed entire cultural belief systems. What is seemingly impossible to change can completely shift in a short period of time when the collective belief changes, and that is the power you have to change the world. This brings us to an even deeper understanding of responsibility. Recognizing yourself as a creator doesn't absolve you of it, it actually amplifies it. This understanding is not just theoretical. It's a call to action, a demand to become an active participant in the creation of your world. The next step in this journey is not just about understanding these principles, but embodying them, choosing to become a force for good in your life and in the world around you. Now, let's move into practical tools that will help you take control. Let's explore breathwork and how it acts as a direct connection to your energetic system. It's not just a way to calm your mind, but a way to fuel your body with energy. Conscious breathing is like turning on the ignition switch of a car, giving you the energy you need to drive towards your destination. When you start to breathe consciously, you're not only changing your brain waves, you're also charging your energy field, giving you more power to manifest your intentions. For example, try a simple box breathing technique, where you inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, and hold again for 4 seconds. And as you do this, notice the subtle shifts in your energy, the increased sense of calm, and the feeling of empowerment. Next, let's focus on the practice of mindfulness, which is the practice of observing your thoughts without any judgment. It's a tool that allows you to disidentify with the story of your mind, and it reminds you that you are not your thoughts, you are the observer. This is a powerful way to recognize the patterns of your thinking and to create space between you and your reactions. Imagine that you are sitting on the bank of a river, watching the thoughts flow by, and you are not getting caught up in them, just seeing them for what they are, which is just thoughts. A simple way to start this practice is to sit quietly for a few minutes, focusing on your breath, and then gently noticing when thoughts come up, but you do not engage them, you just allow them to pass. With consistent practice, you will notice you are much more than just your thoughts. You are the one watching them. Visualization is not just daydreaming, it's a powerful technique to consciously direct your subconscious. When you visualize with clear intention and emotion, you're directing your subconscious to create a new future. Think about how athletes use visualization to enhance their performance. They create the experience in their mind, and their body simply follows. To practice this, think about a specific situation you want to manifest, and then close your eyes and create a vivid mental picture of that experience. Include every sensory detail, what you see, what you hear, what you smell, how you feel, and do that consistently, and you will be actively shaping your new reality. Now, let's tie this all together and recognize that these practices are not just individual tools, but a part of a larger, consistent pattern. It's the consistency that brings forth the real results. They may seem simple, and maybe even small in the moment, but they create a profound change over time. Imagine you're consistently saving small amounts of money, and over time, those small savings start to grow, creating a large sum, and the same is true for these practices. Consistent practice creates lasting change. To reinforce the power of consistent practice, let's look at a real-world application and how combining these techniques creates a change in your outer world. Think of someone who may have been struggling with anxiety, but then they consistently practiced breathwork, mindfulness, and visualization. They begin to transform their inner world, and their outer world begins to reflect that transformation. They may now feel more calm, more centered, and more empowered, and their reality has transformed because of the consistent practice of these techniques. This shows you that the power is in the doing, in the consistent practice, in the conscious choice to implement these tools. And now, let's unleash the power of choice. The ability to choose is always available in the present moment, no matter what your past has been, and that power doesn't need to be earned. It's an inherent part of who you are. You are not bound by your past actions, decisions, or beliefs, and at any moment you can consciously choose a new path. So, if you have been holding on to a past decision that no longer serves you, you can make a new one in this present moment, and in this present moment is where all your power lies. This understanding elevates that when you make a conscious choice, you are literally rewriting the code of your reality. You are creating a new potential, a new outcome, and that's what makes it so powerful. The patterns you've chosen in the past aren't set in stone. You can always choose to step out of them to create a new way of being. Consider a situation that normally triggers you, and then you consciously choose to react in a different way. And by doing that, you are creating a new reality for yourself. This shows you that you are not bound by your old patterns, but you have the freedom to choose a new one. The identity you believe yourself to be is also just a story you are telling yourself, and you can choose a different story. You are not limited to your past or to the labels that have been given to you. You have the power to step into a new identity at any moment. Imagine your life as a video game, and you can choose to play any character you desire. For example, someone who has always seen themselves as shy can choose to step into a new identity of confident, and their actions and their experience will shift to match that new choice. You are not your past, you are not your labels, you are infinite possibility. There's a direct connection between your thoughts and your reality, a cycle of energy that you are either choosing to perpetuate or you are choosing to change, and the power to change it always lies with you. The beliefs that you hold, whether conscious or unconscious, are constantly creating the feedback loop that shapes your experience. If you are consistently planting positive seeds, that's what will grow and manifest, and the opposite is also true, and that is the power of the garden of your mind. Think of a belief that creates a negative loop, and how simply choosing to change that belief changes the entire experience. The choice is yours in every moment. With this power of choice comes great responsibility, because with this knowledge, you can no longer play the victim. You are the creator of your life, and your actions directly impact your experience and the lives of others. You can no longer blame outside circumstances, because now you understand that it is now your responsibility to create the world that you wish to see. Now that you have awakened to the truth, you have also awakened to the responsibility that comes along with it. Let's bring all these ideas together. Consciousness is the field of infinite potential. Your brain is the receiver. Your subconscious filters your experiences based on existing programs. These programs have been influenced by outside forces. Reality is a simulation created by collective consciousness. You are the programmer, and you have the power to shift your perspective at any moment. Using tools like breathwork, mindfulness, visualization, and consistent self-observation, you can consciously create your reality. All of these concepts are interconnected, and when you understand the patterns, you can begin to change them, and that choice is always available to you, right now. By understanding these patterns, you can also start to create new, empowering cycles in your life and break free from the negative ones. You are not trapped in the old code. You have the power to write new code, to create new possibilities and a new future. Consider a negative self-talk pattern and how, by becoming aware of that pattern, you can intentionally replace it with empowering affirmations, and this will begin to change the cycle. You have the power to create new patterns for your life, and each time you make a conscious choice, you are reinforcing your power as the creator. Remember that this is an ongoing process. It is not an overnight fix, and with each conscious choice you make, you deepen your ability to be a conscious creator. You now have the tools for your own self-mastery, and as you continue to use them, you will only continue to expand your potential. This is not a fixed point. It is a continuous journey of growth and transformation. You are not stuck. You are not limited. You are an infinite being of potential, and it's time to begin to live as the powerful creator you are. As you step into this understanding and you practice these tools, the old illusions will begin to fall away, and you will begin to live from a place of power, love, and awareness. You are the key to everything. The answers you have been seeking have been within you all along, and you are the one you have been waiting for, and you are ready now. You are a conscious creator, and you have everything you need within you, right now, to create the life that you desire and to inspire others. It's time to take these tools into your life, to witness the shifts that take place when you choose to live from a place of power, and to show others the potential that is available to them. You are the creator, and you have everything you need to begin right now. Let's take this idea of the simulation even further, because it's not just a passive experience you are having, you're an active participant in its creation. It's not something that's being done to you. It's a shared reality that you are constantly co-creating through your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs, which also creates a shared experience. It's like a dream, where you might start out as a passive observer, but with awareness, you can begin to consciously shape the dream and even change the story. The power to change your reality isn't in some external force. It's within your own ability to actively participate in creating your experience and the collective experience as well. The more you understand this, the more your potential will begin to unfold. Now, let's talk about the nature of control. It's not just external forces that keep the program running. It's also the collective beliefs we all share. These are the deeply ingrained social norms and assumptions that often go unquestioned. They are like the background code of the simulation, operating beneath the surface of our awareness. Consider, for example, the belief that you have to work hard to make money. While that may seem harmless, it actually creates a sense of struggle and limitation around the idea of wealth. It's a belief that is so deeply embedded into the collective consciousness that it reinforces the very thing it describes. Recognizing that these beliefs are a part of the program is the first step in consciously choosing to reject them. It's when you see the hidden agreement of these shared beliefs that you can then break free from them. This brings us to an important point. Awareness alone is not enough. You can be aware of the program, you can see the patterns, but if you don't actively choose to rewrite the code of your reality, you'll remain within its confines. It's like knowing how to drive a car, but never actually getting behind the wheel. Imagine someone who is aware of their negative self-talk, but they don't consciously choose to change that pattern, and so they remain in that same cycle. That awareness must be paired with action, the action of consciously choosing and using the tools that are available to you. It's not enough to just wake up. You must also actively participate in the creation process. And what are the stakes here? If you don't take responsibility for your thoughts, your emotions, and your beliefs, you are unconsciously creating a reality that may not be in your best interest, because if you don't consciously choose, you are unconsciously creating. Imagine a person who is constantly complaining about their life. They are, in fact, using their energy to manifest more things to complain about, and this is how your energy works. By remaining in that state of unconscious creation, you're not only limiting yourself, but you are also perpetuating the very systems that keep you disempowered. So, if you are creating, the real question becomes, what will you choose to create? Now that you are beginning to understand your role in shaping the simulation and the importance of conscious creation, let's dive into the practical applications, starting with breathwork. Breathwork is not just about calming the mind, it is a way to connect to your inner power, your very own life force energy. When you consciously breathe, you are not just taking in oxygen. You are clearing energetic blockages and creating a greater sense of presence within your body. Conscious breathing creates a deeper energetic connection to your power, and when you connect to your power, you also connect to your ability to create. For example, try the box breathing technique. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4, and as you do, notice the shift in your energy, the feeling of calm, and the sense of empowerment. Breath is not just a biological function, but a profound way to connect to your inner power. Now, let's explore the power of mindfulness, which allows you to disidentify with the story of your thoughts and instead step into the role of the observer. You are much more than the narrative of your mind, and mindfulness is the key that allows you to access the silent power within you. When you are mindful, you see that you are not your thoughts. You are the one witnessing your thoughts. A simple way to start this practice is to find a quiet place to sit, focus on your breath, and then gently observe your thoughts without engaging them, and this is the key to shifting out of the limited story of your mind. This distance is the key to recognizing that you are much more than what you think. Next, let's look at visualization. Visualization is not just about creating a mental image. It's about creating an emotional resonance with your desired outcome. Your emotions are the fuel of your creation, and when you visualize while also feeling those emotions as if they are happening, you are directing your subconscious with much greater power. So when you visualize, imagine that it is not just a mental picture, but it is a complete experience. And with that, you also feel the joy, the love, the gratitude, the abundance, and with these feelings you are creating a much more potent visualization. And now, let's connect these practices together. Consistent implementation of these tools is what creates new neural pathways and reshapes your subconscious beliefs, because consistent effort creates lasting change. These tools are not a quick fix. They are the key to rewriting your code, and it is the consistency that creates the lasting results. Think about how consistent exercise over time creates lasting changes in your body, and that is how these practices work. Consistent daily application of the tools creates lasting change in your reality. To see how this is all connected, consider a person who has chosen to practice these tools consistently. By doing so, they are changing their inner world, and their outer world begins to shift to reflect that. Imagine they used to have negative self-beliefs, but through consistent practice, they have begun to transform, and their outer world has transformed right along with them. By changing their inner world, they are changing the experience of their outer world. This shows you that your inner world is always the blueprint of your outer world. This brings us to an extremely important element, the power of choice. Your power to choose is always available in the present moment, no matter your past decisions or circumstances. Your past does not define you. You have the power to choose a new path in this very moment, because this moment is where all of your power exists. So if you are holding on to a belief about yourself that is based on a past event or decision that is simply a pattern from the past, you always have the power to choose something different. And this is key. Every conscious choice you make is a step towards rewriting the code of your reality, and you are now actively choosing what you want to create. The power of choice is the very foundation of creation, and when you choose with awareness and intention, you are truly stepping into your role as the creator. For example, if you are in a challenging situation, you can choose to react in a new way, which will rewrite the code of that experience. You are not bound to your old patterns. You have the freedom to choose new ones. Also, consider that the identity you believe yourself to be is simply a collection of stories, beliefs, and patterns that you can choose to keep or release at any time. You are much more than the story of your past or any of the labels that have been given to you, because you are an infinite being of pure potential, and you can step into your true self at any moment. Just like a character in a book, you can rewrite your entire story. If you've always identified as something less than you are, you can choose a new identity and experience a new reality that matches that new identity. You are not limited, you are infinite potential. And always remember, your beliefs, whether conscious or unconscious, create a feedback loop that either empowers you or disempowers you. They create the very experience you are having, which is why the garden of your mind needs to be tended to with care, because whatever you plant, you will harvest. Consider a belief that creates a negative experience, and how, by simply choosing to change that belief, you change the entire experience, because you have the power to choose which seeds you plant in your garden. And finally, know that with the power of choice also comes great responsibility, because you are no longer just shaping your own life. You are also shaping the collective reality, and you are a part of the whole, and your choices directly impact the whole. With this new understanding of your power, you can no longer remain in a state of passive awareness. You must actively choose how you want to contribute to the whole, because your choices will ripple out into the world. Imagine the ripple effect that one person's positive actions can create, and how that impacts all of those they interact with, and this is how your power moves through the world, and you are a part of this. Let's dive deeper into this idea of the simulation, because what if it's not just a personal experience, but a shared one? What if the reality we perceive isn't just our own unique construct, but a collective agreement, a shared dream that we're all co-creating together? Think of it like a giant, interactive game, where the rules are shaped by the shared thoughts, beliefs, and emotions of everyone involved. These aren't fixed rules etched in stone. They're fluid agreements that we're constantly reinforcing through our collective focus. The boundaries of the game are not set externally, they are set by the consensus of everyone who is participating in the experience. For example, take the belief in a particular political system. Millions of people adhering to the same views solidify the system and the structures around it, and it becomes the reality for all of those who are participating. The reality of that system is only real because of the agreement of the collective. This same principle applies to many other aspects of our shared reality. When enough people believe something is true, it shapes the landscape of the world that we all experience. Now, let's expand on the idea of programming. It's not just about the messages you receive individually. It's also about the collective narratives that shape our culture, the programming that operates on a mass level. These societal narratives, these cultural norms, and the seemingly normal patterns of behavior are all part of the code of the shared simulation. These are the subtle yet powerful forces that influence how we think, how we feel, and how we behave. Think about the saying, "Money doesn't grow on trees." While seemingly harmless, this is actually a limiting belief that subtly programs you to see money as a scarce resource that you must work extremely hard for. This is a collective program that many people have agreed to, without even being aware of the programming they are participating in. These common phrases, which often go unexamined, can be seen as forms of collective programming, shaping our beliefs and ultimately our experiences. And with this increased understanding of the program, it is important to realize that these collective patterns are not just something that is happening to us, it's something that we're actively participating in. You are not simply a passive recipient of these narratives and norms, you are an active player in their creation and maintenance. Recognizing these patterns of control on a societal scale is an incredibly powerful step towards reclaiming your agency. Consider the common social norm of rushing through your day. It seems normal, but upon examination, you might realize that it's a pattern that perpetuates a sense of stress and disconnection. This seemingly normal pattern actually reinforces a belief that there isn't enough time, and by participating in that pattern, you are perpetuating it. It is only when we recognize the patterns we're participating in that we can begin to make new choices. This brings us to a critical point. If we don't recognize our collective power to shape the simulation, we will continue to perpetuate systems that don't align with our highest potential. It's like being in a play where you know your lines by heart, but you also know that the play is not your favorite. Yet, if you continue to participate, you are perpetuating the very play you wish to change. If we are not actively shaping the collective narrative, we are unconsciously supporting the status quo and reinforcing the systems that keep us in patterns of limitation. If you consider a population that is unconscious and unaware, it is much easier to control. Therefore, the key to shifting the collective is awareness. Awareness of your own role and awareness of the patterns that you are reinforcing. It is through collective awakening that true change begins to manifest. And now let's set the stage for what's coming. With the awareness of the power of collective creation, you also now have the ability to consciously shift that collective narrative. You are not only responsible for your own life, but you also have a responsibility to contribute to the whole, because you are always shaping the world, whether you are conscious of it or not. So, if our thoughts, our emotions, and our beliefs are collectively creating reality, then what kind of reality are we choosing to create? Now let's talk about choice, the master key to rewriting the code of this simulation. Choice is not just a passive mental exercise, it is a powerful force that actively shapes the reality you experience. It is not just about selecting a preference from a menu, it's about deliberately choosing your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and perspectives. Choice is the ultimate tool that allows you to step out of the program and begin to write a new code for your experience. For example, if you are in a situation where you typically react with anger, you can consciously choose to react with compassion, and this single choice has the ability to shift the entire experience. Your reactions are not fixed, and you always have the power to choose a new path. And every personal choice is not just about yourself. It also has a ripple effect that impacts the whole. Your actions, your thoughts, and your beliefs, like pebbles dropped into a pond, create waves that extend far beyond your individual experience. Imagine choosing to offer kindness to a stranger. That act of kindness can create a chain reaction that positively impacts those around you. The opposite is also true. When you choose negativity, that also ripples out into the world. Every choice you make has a significance, and every choice contributes to the collective narrative, and this highlights the interconnectedness of all things. Your individual choices are collectively shaping the shared experience. This understanding of choice can also be evolved, so now you recognize that conscious choosing is intentional creation. When you are consciously choosing, you are actively writing the code of your reality, and you are moving from being a passive recipient of the program to being the active author of your own life. Remember the observer effect. By consciously observing, you are changing the outcome. For example, if you make a choice unconsciously and you are not even aware of your intention, it may produce an outcome you do not like. But when you become aware of the unconscious choice, you can then choose a new outcome. This is the power of consciousness, and this is the power of intentional creation. This then brings us to the crucial point that with the power of choice also comes responsibility. You are no longer a victim of circumstances. You are the architect of your experience, and with this awareness, you must take responsibility for your own creations. If you are experiencing a reality that you do not enjoy, you can no longer place the blame on external forces. You must now recognize that you are the one creating your experience. Consider a video game where every decision you make impacts the entire game, and the more you are aware of your choices, the more powerful you become. This is how you are in the game of life. Every choice, whether conscious or unconscious, is always creating your reality. So now, as you understand that the power of choice is the core element of creation, you must also now move into action and take that power to begin creating a new world for yourself and all of those around you. The potential of choice is not just about creating your own personal reality, but about how you can contribute to the betterment of all. With the understanding that you now have, you can actively choose to be a positive force in the world. And so the question remains, if your choices are creating the world, then what kind of world will you choose to create? Now, let's move into the practical tools you can use to start hacking the simulation. Let's begin with breathwork. We've touched on it before, but now you can see that breathwork is not just a tool for relaxation. It's a direct connection to your life force, a gateway to your inner power. The breath is the very essence of life, and by consciously controlling your breath, you can also consciously control and enhance your entire experience. The breath is the energetic link to your power, and when you are consciously breathing, you're also accessing that power. Try a conscious breathing technique. Inhale slowly and deeply, feeling your abdomen rise, then exhale fully, releasing all tension, then repeat. And as you do, feel your energy shift and notice the power that exists within. Breathwork is a simple yet profound way to connect with your inner strength and clear emotional blockages. And now, let's move into mindfulness, which is a profound tool for dissolving the illusions of the simulation and bringing you into a deeper state of awareness. When you practice mindfulness, you learn to disidentify with your thoughts and emotions, and instead become the silent observer of your experience. The practice of mindfulness shows you that you are much more than the story of your mind, and it is the key to accessing your true power within. A simple way to practice this is to find a quiet space, focus on your breath, and then gently observe the thoughts that arise without judging them or engaging with them. And with this awareness, your perspective will begin to shift. Mindfulness creates a detachment from the limited narrative of your mind and brings you into the present moment, which is where all of your power exists. Now, let's explore visualization. Visualization is not just about creating a mental image of what you want. It's about creating a powerful resonance with your desired outcome by using your imagination and your feelings. Your feelings are the fuel of your creation, and when you combine your feelings with the mental image, you are directing your subconscious mind with much more power. So when you visualize, don't just see an image. Feel the joy, the love, the gratitude, the abundance, as if you are already experiencing it. Create a complete sensory experience with sights, sounds, smells, and feelings, and you will be creating a reality that resonates with your highest desires. When you create a powerful feeling in your mind, it will eventually manifest in your outer world. And always remember, consistency is the most important part of this journey, and these practices must be applied daily in order to create lasting change. It is not enough to just use these practices sporadically. It is consistency that will rewire your subconscious mind and create lasting change in your experience. Just like a physical habit, consistent practice of these tools will create new neural pathways, and the old programs of the subconscious will begin to lose their power over you. Think about any positive habit you may have created, and how, over time, that habit has become natural to you, and this is how these practices must be integrated into your life. And finally, by combining all of these tools with consistent practice, you will begin to see tangible changes in your outer reality. As your inner world begins to shift, you will see that your outer experience will begin to reflect that shift. Consider a person who has been consistently using these tools and how their outer world has now transformed to match their inner world. Their beliefs, thoughts, and emotions have changed, and their experience is now a direct reflection of their inner transformation. When your inner world changes, your outer world must also change, and this is the power of consistent practice. And now, let's talk about the power of the present moment. The power to choose to shift your perspective and to create a new reality is always available in the now. It is not in the past or in the future. You are never stuck. You always have the power to begin again, right now. If you are holding on to an experience from the past that you do not want, you can choose to release it right now in this very moment, because you are not bound to the old story. The power of the now is always available to you, and this is key. By simply choosing to shift your perspective in the present moment, you are literally rewriting the code of the simulation, and regardless of your past choices, you can create a completely new outcome. The power of choice is always active in the now, and when you shift your perspective, your experience will also shift right along with it. If you are feeling overwhelmed, simply choosing to focus on the things you are grateful for will immediately shift your experience, because your perspective is the key to shifting your reality. The power of the present moment is infinite. And your identity, this story that you have been telling yourself, can also be rewritten in the present moment, because it is simply a collection of stories, beliefs, and patterns, and you have the power to choose a new story. This is important to remember. The stories you are holding are not permanent, and you can choose to create a completely new identity for yourself in this moment. Just like you can change a character in a story, you can rewrite your entire life's narrative. If you have always identified as being less than you are, you can choose to step into a new identity, which will then create a new experience. You are not limited, you are a being of pure potential, and you can become that in the now. And now, let's reinforce the connection. Your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions are actively shaping your outer reality, and you can begin to tend the garden of your mind by planting new seeds in the present moment, which will then grow into the experience of your life. The power to create the life you desire always exists in the now. If you have a positive belief, your experience will align with that belief, and the same goes for a negative belief. The present moment is the foundation of your creation, and this brings us to the responsibility of this great power. As the conscious creator of your experience, You are 100% responsible for the reality that you are creating, and your choices in the present moment are shaping your future. With this awareness, you can no longer play the role of the victim. You must now step into your power and take responsibility for your creations. You are always creating, whether you are conscious of it or not. But now, with the knowledge that you have gained, you can now create with intention. So, with this awareness, you are no longer a passive recipient of life. You are now the master of your experience. And now, let's connect all the pieces together. Your consciousness, the programming of the collective, your choices, and the simulated nature of reality are all interconnected. And it's these pieces working together that create the totality of your experience. The journey you have been on so far in this video is now coming together, and you now have a deeper understanding of the larger picture. Just like a puzzle, all of the pieces now fit together, and you can see the entirety of the image. These are all interconnected elements of your experience. And now that you understand the patterns of the simulation, you can now begin to create new and more empowering patterns. You are no longer bound to the old cycles of limitation, and with your new knowledge, you can begin to write a new code for your life. You are now equipped with the awareness of the old program and the tools to create a new one. A negative cycle can be replaced with a positive one, and you have the ability to create an entirely new program. And always remember, this is not a destination, but a continuous journey of conscious evolution. With each choice, each intentional action, each mindful observation, you are deepening your awareness and expanding your power. With every step you take, you are transforming into the person you were always meant to be. This is an ongoing journey of growth, of awakening, of transformation, and you are on this journey now. And know this, the old systems of control only have power if you believe in them. As you continue to practice these tools, the old programming will begin to lose its power, and you will begin to step into your authentic self. The power you have been searching for has been inside you all along. You are the key to everything you are seeking. And now, as we come closer to the end of our journey together, it is crucial that you embrace your ability to be a conscious creator and begin to integrate this knowledge into your daily life and to become a source of light for others. This understanding is a gift, and with this gift comes responsibility. You must now step into your power and create the life and the world that you wish to experience, and you are equipped with all you need to do so. Begin today with a clear intention and move into action. So let's solidify this final truth. You are the conscious creator of your reality. This isn't just a nice idea to ponder. It's the foundational element of your experience. You're not simply watching a movie. You're the director, the screenwriter, and the actor all rolled into one. This journey that we have been on has been designed to help you understand that this power was never outside of you. It was always within you, and now you can see it clearly. Think back to the beginning of this journey, to the questions that we posed about your reality. Everything we've explored, the nature of consciousness, the mechanisms of control, the tools for transformation, has been leading to this understanding. You are the key. The patterns that were designed to make you feel less powerful were only ever effective because of your unconscious agreement, but now you are aware. This understanding shifts the entire playing field and puts you back in control. This is the culmination of our journey, where the external world transforms into a reflection of your internal power. And now, let's complete this recurring pattern of recognizing external control. The programming that has been influencing your life, and the mass programming that influences the collective, only has power when it operates outside of your conscious awareness. The moment you become aware of it, you can begin to rewrite the code. This is where all the tools we've discussed become incredibly powerful. Meditation, mindfulness, breathwork, visualization, these are not just practices. They are the ways that you begin to rewrite your subconscious programming. You are not a robot following a set of instructions. You are the programmer who is now taking charge of their own operating system. Think of this as hacking your own code and inserting new instructions. The power to rewrite your program has been available to you all along, and you can now use that power to create a life that is aligned with your highest potential. The old code is no longer running the show. You are. And now, let's resolve the core question of limitation. You are not limited to your past experiences or your current circumstances, because the possibilities for your life are infinite. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are a co-creator of reality, and you can shape your experience in any way you choose. Remember the simulation that we've discussed. You are not just playing the game. You are actively shaping it with your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions. As a co-creator, you have a responsibility to contribute to a better world, and this begins with the choices that you make in your own life. You are not bound by the constraints of the simulation, and now you can see that you can choose to create a different one. Your possibilities are limitless. This then brings us to the most important perspective shift you can make, from being a passive receiver to an active creator. You are no longer bound by the limitations of the program, because you have the power of choice in every single moment. The power to shift your perspective is always available to you, and you are not bound to the past or to limiting beliefs. They are just ideas in your mind. The idea of being stuck is just a program running in your mind, and you have the power to choose to create a different one. Right here, right now, you have the power to choose again, and in that choice lies your true power. This ability to shift the present moment is the ultimate form of freedom. The power is within you. And with this new perspective, let's examine this idea of collective creation and how your journey is connected to the whole. Your inner transformation has a ripple effect that extends far beyond your personal experience, and your thoughts, your actions, and your beliefs are all contributing to the collective consciousness. You are not just creating your own reality. You are also contributing to the reality of everyone else. Your individual journey is deeply interconnected with the larger world, and the positive shifts in your life are also positively influencing the collective. This is about more than just your individual experience. It's about creating a positive impact on the world around you. You have a responsibility to bring this awareness to the world. And with this in mind, let's look at the recurring pattern of conscious awareness. Conscious awareness is not only a way of understanding reality, it's also a way of evolving humanity. The ability to consciously choose is what separates us from a program, and the more conscious we become, the more we can create a positive and sustainable future for all of humanity. Once you are aware, you can never go back to unconsciousness. You are now on a path of continuous growth, a path of conscious evolution, and each step you take is a step toward a brighter future for everyone. This knowledge is designed to be shared and expanded upon, so that we can all become more conscious together. So let's now build the implications of the idea that we are all part of a simulation, and what it really means for your power. Understanding the simulation gives you the power to rewrite not just your own story, but to contribute to the creation of a new collective narrative. Your beliefs are shaping reality, and now that you are aware of this, you can consciously choose the beliefs that you want to project into the world. This is an opportunity to co-create a world that is based on love, abundance, joy, and peace. This is where the true power lies, in the ability to shift not just your own experience, but the experience of the collective. The pen is in your hand, and you are now creating a new collective story. And finally, let's understand that this knowledge is about unleashing your infinite human potential, and when each person steps into their power, the whole of humanity is uplifted. This journey is not just about personal growth, it's about creating a world where all beings can thrive. With each step forward, you are creating a new foundation for others to build upon. You are part of a much larger movement, and this knowledge is designed to empower you and everyone around you. Each positive step creates a new cycle of growth and transformation. This is the dawn of conscious humanity. Now, let's bring the thread of choice to its final conclusion and reinforce that each moment is an opportunity to choose again. Your future is not set in stone, but it is created by the choices you make in the present moment. You are in control of your narrative, and each choice that you make is shaping the path of your future. You are the author of your own life, and now with the wisdom that you have gained, you can create with intention. Every single moment is a new opportunity for you to choose, and you are always in control of your destiny. The power to choose is the ultimate form of self-determination. And now let's fulfill this pattern of conscious living by integrating these concepts into your daily life through consistent practice. Regular meditation, breathwork, visualization, and self-reflection are not optional. They are the foundational practices that will create lasting change. These practices must be part of your daily life. They must be part of your habitual actions, and they must be consistent. These practices are the keys to unlocking your full potential and to creating a life that is aligned with your deepest desires. This journey requires consistent effort, and these tools are your constant support. And now let's resolve the initial question of, who are you really? You are not your thoughts, you are not your beliefs, you are not your emotions, you are the consciousness itself, the observer, the creator. This has been within you all along, but you have simply become aware of it now. The power was never outside of you, it was always within. You are the source of your own experience, you are the source of your own potential, and you are now conscious of that. This is the ultimate truth of your being. You are the awareness that is experiencing everything. And now, let's release all the tension with the understanding that you were never powerless. You were always the creator. With this awareness, you are now free to create a life of purpose and meaning, and to move forward with joy and excitement about all that you are going to create. There is nothing to fear. Your power is infinite, and you are now equipped to create a life that is beyond your wildest dreams. Step into this understanding and step into the light. The journey has just begun. And as this chapter closes, new questions emerge. What is the true nature of collective consciousness? What are the other possibilities of reality? And what is the true potential of human consciousness? You have only scratched the surface of your own power, and there is so much more to explore. The limitless possibilities are now open to you. Consider this the beginning of an incredible adventure. This journey is a lifelong exploration. And with this understanding, let's examine the implications of the power you now have and how you can shape the collective experience and inspire others to step into their power. It is not enough to just transform your own life. You have a responsibility to inspire others and to share the light of your awareness. This new understanding is to be expanded upon and shared with everyone around you. Your journey has the power to create a ripple effect that transforms the entire world. And to continue this growth, please share your experiences and insights with others. Let's create a community of conscious creators, a community of like minds, all working toward a new experience of reality. Share your journey, share your questions, and share your insights so that we can all continue to grow together. Together, we are a force of transformation, and our combined power is unlimited. I encourage you to engage with this content and share your own experience. And finally, let's look to the future and acknowledge that this is just the beginning of an incredible journey. You are now equipped with the understanding, the tools, and the awareness to continue exploring, growing, and creating a life of purpose, meaning, and abundance. You are now able to contribute to a better world and to continue evolving as a conscious creator. The path is open before you. The adventure is just beginning.